We caught up with Prashanth Aluru, the CEO and co-founder of TMRW. He shares his plans of expansions going forward. In fact, my colleague Aishwarya Patil caught up with him on the sidelines of a Tycon event recently. Listen.
The overall genesis of TMRW was to build new age brands for new age consumers. The younger consumers who are typically Gen Zs and millennials, which form a large part of our target segment. Today at TMRW, we are already number one in fashion. We have 3 large brands between ABFRL, Wrong and TIGC. And we have 5 mid-sized brands which are emerging disruptive brands, which are category creators and new categories that are being formed, right? And that's where brands like Nobero fit in, which is in the space of fashion leisure, which is fashion forward athleisure, solving for millennials who are social travelers. So we are already at a very large scale, number one in the space. And to your question on channel footprint, these brands do start digital first. Some of them may be strong on the D2C front, some of them may be strong on marketplaces. But eventually, all brands have to be where the consumer is shopping. So at steady state, we see all brands having the right mix of D2C, marketplaces, and offline omni. And to your point, recently we've launched the first set of exclusive brand outlets for Bewakoof. Wrong already has multiple brand outlets, but is looking to get into the next wave of offline. Brands like TIGC and Nobero are also going to launch their exclusive brand outlets. So fundamentally, the idea is to be where the consumer is. But in our case, maybe in steady state, we'll still see offline to be 25-30%, but digital will still be the balance 70%. Hence, the focus is not so much on channel, the focus is on brand building and solving uniquely for the next generation consumer who's a younger consumer. But today's brands will become tomorrow's leadership brands, and that's where we fit in nicely into the larger ABFRL portfolio as well, because the different brands are solving for different TGs, different categories, and we think over time, our brands will be the next generation leadership brands. Whatever Aditya Birla Fashion has done in the offline first world, we are doing that here in the digital first world for younger consumers.
Effectively, if you could tell me overall of the brands that we have currently, what would be the footprint expansion in total for all the brands that are already onboarded, and this partnership between TMRW's D2C brands and ABFRL, how does that work?
Sure, we are backed by the Aditya Birla Group. We're one of the digital ventures which is funded by the group. We are part of ABFRL, so we benefit from the entire ecosystem of capabilities, networks, and partnerships that we can leverage from ABFRL. We are also, in our portfolio today, we have almost 1,000 crore scale as of last year, second half of last year, growing rapidly across different categories.
At the end of this year, how many stores could we see in terms of expansion?
So I wouldn't be commenting on a precise number, but I think right now we're in that phase of
any range.
First 25 odd stores for each brand for us to establish product market fit. Because when digital brands go offline, we fundamentally think they need to approach offline differently from the traditional brands, whether it's the engagement at the store, whether it's a look and feel and the retail ID. So we are trying to hone all of that before we go big. And once the first 20-25 stores are established and showing promise, we will rapidly scale post that to the next phase of expansion.